Welcome to It's Upgrade Season, the only place to get raw and unfiltered advice on how to get your shit together 1 week at a time. I'm your host, Alexandria, and join me every Monday for The Upgrade and every Friday for The Wind Down, where I'm going to be answering your dilemmas. Small shifts, huge upgrades. Let's fucking do this. Hello and welcome to this week's upgrade. And I have such a juicy upgrade for you this week. And what I love about it is all you have to do is listen to this episode. And why I say that is I'm not going to go and give you 1,000 action steps to take. I'm not going to give you a load of journal prompts. I'm not going to give you, some process to go through. This is going to be one of those episodes where all you have to do is sit back, relax, unless you're driving, please keep driving, walk, whatever the fuck you're doing, okay? Do whatever you're doing, take it in, and it's going to radically shift things for you. So I'm super excited for this. Little update before we begin. I was on the way to recording today and I was like, I don't know what personal updates to give. Like I've been talking about the house and things like that. And so it's less of an update. It's more of a rant, and I want to see if any other women feel the same. Here it is. I am very independent. I am very capable. I have a business master's. I've started multiple businesses. I have got a visa to live in a different country. There are lots of things that I can do. I host international events, okay? There's a lot of things I can do. And I am discovering there are limits to my independence, okay? And here are some of the limits to my independence that I'm discovering. Jake recently bought his own car. Now it seemed completely unnecessary for us to have 2 cars because, quite frankly, I didn't leave the fucking house because I had a baby and mums get it. Particularly if you're a breastfeeding mum, not because it's fucking bad to be a breastfeeding mum, but because I couldn't pump, my boobs needed to be nearby. So we were fine on 1 car for a while, but now we've started leaving the house again. It's really handy to have a car each. And we'd had one too many incidences where we'd been like, I'm going out. No, I'm going. What do you mean? Anyway, so we got a car. Great. Car's great. Love the car. Issue is I used to get in my car and the tank was always full. The tank was always full, you guys. Even if it wasn't full, it was full enough, And if it was getting low, it would magically refill itself. It was a wonderful setup that I had. Now Jake has his own car. My car has weirdly stopped magically filling itself. It is so sad, you guys. It's like today, I'm driving to the podcast studio. I don't think I better leave time to top up the car because no, the petrol tank automatically fills itself. Nope, I need to stop at the petrol station. The petrol tank has not automatically filled itself. I'm like, does anyone else prang out at a petrol station? I do think this is a woman thing. I don't feel safe at petrol stations for some reason. I think it's because I'm out of my car, but I have my car keys in my hand. I just feel really vulnerable. I feel like someone's going to carjack the car or something. So I'm really on edge, shaking a little bit as I'm filling my tank. It's probably very dramatic and unnecessary, but this is one of the limits I've discovered in my independence. I do not like filling my own petrol tank. Other limits to my independence I've realized is bins. I just feel like bins, and I don't know why, but bins is a man's job. Bins, there's something about that energy of the bin. He's got it. He just heaves it out. He gets rid of it. I went around to a friend's house the other day and she was like, sorry, the garage smells. My partner's been away and I literally don't know what to do with the bins. And I was like, do you know what? I get it. If Jake left, I don't know what day the bins go out. I don't know what color bin goes on what day. I am not aware of this procedure. Okay. So I feel like petrol and bins, and please don't think I just give him all the shitty jobs here. I do my own fair share of shitty jobs, which I'm not trying to think what are. I change shitty diapers a lot, for example. But yeah, just bins and petrol filling are 2 guys' jobs. I want to know what your limits to your independence are, ladies. Make me feel better here. Do you have those jobs where you're just this is not women's work, you know? You're like, this is something for my partner to do. I want to know what those things are. Okay, so let's get into today's episode. We are talking about manifestation today, and I wanted to offer you 3 mindset shifts, 3 ways of shifting your way of being in the world that are going to radically shift the way that you manifest and speed up your manifestations, plus just allow you to have more fucking fun whilst manifesting. Because honestly, sometimes I feel like manifestation becomes this like big, heavy process, and it really doesn't need to be. So the first one is, this has radically changed my life. It's called cherry on top energy. I termed it myself. If you hear anyone else talk about fucking cherry on top energy, it came from me, okay? So cherry on top energy and manifestation. And we all know the phrase cherry on top. The cherry on top is that like extra bit that was like not necessary, but it's an extra little nice to have on top of the cake. Well, I feel in manifestation, one of the best approaches we can take is the things that we are manifesting are simply the cherry on top. And this is why this is so unbelievably powerful when you manifest. First of all, it increases your gratitude, okay? So it increases your gratitude of your current experience of life. When you tap into gratitude, you are going to be so much happier. There are so many studies on how it can alleviate depression, how it increases happiness, like positive psychology goes wild on gratitude with good reason. So it increases gratitude, but also from a manifestation perspective, if you are thinking from the perspective of like attracts like, if you're saying, I'm so grateful for this, I'm so grateful for this, you're attracting in more of those things that you are grateful for. Secondly, it releases, hang on, I want to go back and talk about that because I've just questions. I have this talent of like, it's almost like I hear an inner skeptic in my head, and it's a talent because I know the question that's going to pop up there. Alex, what if I fucking hate my current reality? Okay, been there. I did promo work, spoke about this when Natty and Mel were on the podcast. I did promo work to basically give me cash when I was setting up my first business. And that promo work was like often quite bleak. Like it was 12-hour days. Sometimes they would require you to wear heels as well for the 12-hour days. You're stood up all day. You get quite short breaks. And depending on where you're doing promo work, depending on how nicely you were treated, people often treat promo girls like bimbos. Like you're so fucking thick, which was so ironic because I had a fucking master's when I was doing this. Not saying that qualifications make you clever, but you get my fucking point. So people would talk to you like you were thick, or depending on the event, you'd get quite leery men who just wanted to leer at you and just thought, you're a promo girl, surely that means you're paid to flirt with me. Which, no, we weren't. A promo girl, you are promoting the brand. You are representing the brand. Like, you are not there to flirt with seedy men. Sorry if that kills anyone's dreams. I doubt they're listening to this podcast anyway. So I fucking hate doing these jobs after a while. And I decided to do this practice where I was like, look, I am manifesting a different reality. I'm trying to set this business. I'm calling in abundance from different areas. But I am also really wanting to shift my current experience of this reality. So I wrote down all the reasons I was so grateful for these promo jobs. I was grateful for the women I met. Now I'm saying this, I think I might have spoken about this before, but I'm going to go through it anyway. I was grateful for the women that I met. I met some amazing girls on those jobs. I was grateful for the freedom and the flexibility. I was grateful for the money it provided me. All these different things. My reality started to shift from that place. Yes, there was the business side of things, but also the promo jobs I was getting shifted. I got hired out to these amazing personal development events. I would get hired on shifts with girls I already knew and loved and adored. I would get hired out on shifts and they'd give us these gorgeous, luxurious goodie bags that were worth like £100 in itself, or glasses of champagne, or just like really nice little perks from the jobs themselves. So Even if you are manifesting a new reality, you get to do that, and you get to bring some cherry on top energy to it by just finding the parts of your life that you can love and appreciate already. So say, for example, you are working in a 9 to 5 and you are manifesting your own business and more freedom and more spaciousness as part of that business. You can still bring in gratitude and spaciousness when you're having your morning coffee. Like, you can breathe in gratitude to that. You can be like, oh, I'm so grateful I've got this time in my morning to have this coffee before I go into work, whatever it may be. So cherry on top energy increases gratitude, even if you want to radically shift your reality. And secondly, it releases scarcity. Here's a place where a lot of people trip themselves up when it comes to manifestation. They manifest from a real desperate place of scarcity. Okay? One of the most powerful places we can manifest from is from this cherry on top energy of, I'm grateful for this, but I'm open to more. Okay? Instead of this, need this now. It's almost like you're flirting with the universe. Instead, you're like, oh, I would love to welcome this into my life. This would be so incredible to bring this in. Okay? When we're in that scarce energy, that is a lower vibration experience that we're having. Okay? There's a lot of fear in scarcity. Scarcity in itself is fear that things are going to run out, like fear things are going to be taken away from you. That is that lower vibration experience versus I am complete, I am full, I am safe, I am held. And wouldn't it be amazing to welcome these juicy things into my life? You can feel it already. It's higher vibration, it's fun, it's light, it's playful. Now, I kind of disagree with mainstream manifestation here, in that I don't think you have to necessarily be high vibration in order to manifest. I have manifested some incredible things from quote unquote low vibrational places. However, I do think it speeds up our manifestations and makes it easier for us to receive them when we're in a higher vibration. I'll give you an example of that. When you're in a low state and everything is just, you're in a victim place and like everything is awful, you might not see an opportunity for the opportunity it is from that place. Okay? You might not take that opportunity from that place. Versus if you are feeling good about yourself and loving up on yourself, you will see opportunities exactly as they are. Opportunities, doors opening, signs, potentials, possibility. And you're more likely to go after that opportunity as well. So I hope that demonstrated what my personal perspective is on it. I know it's slightly different to how other people teach and view manifestation, but to me, it's never made sense that you can be in a really difficult situation and still manifest amazing things. So I do think we can manifest from a low vibrational place. I think it just speeds up or in a higher vibration. What I would say about releasing scarcity is something that is seldom released through receiving the thing itself that we desire. Okay? I have experienced this myself with money. So when I was first starting my business, I was aiming for that typical 10K month, when I get to that 10K month, oh, holy shit, I'm going to feel abundant. Oh my God, no stopping me. Okay. Reaching for that 10K month, got to that 10K month. And I noticed this pattern that we hit the 6-figure year and then, we hit a 6-figure month and a 6-figure week at times within our business. But I could still feel a prevailing sense of scarcity if I wasn't careful. And what I realized was that scarcity is an internal experience, not something that is created by the external reality. Okay? So I needed to feel safe, complete, and whole, and then be open to receiving, but know the receiving itself wasn't the thing that was going to make me feel safe and complete and whole. And this is where I think manifestation often gets a bad rep. And actually, manifestation, some of the best personal deep development work you can do, because if you're working on feeling the feelings before you have the things, that's just going to lead you to being a happier, more fulfilled person, So this cherry on top energy, I really think helps release that scarcity, because it's not that I need it, I won't be happy till. It's like, I am complete, I am whole, I am safe. If you're listening to this, if you're walking, if you're driving, repeat that right now. I am complete, I am whole, I am safe. And I am open to receiving all the fucking magic the universe has to offer. I am open to receiving all the money, all the love, all the opportunities, all the abundance, you know? We can have both. So this would be the first mindset shift that will radically upgrade the way that you manifest, embracing this energy. The second thing is learning that abundance does not mean more. Okay? Really leaning into that there is abundance in simple pleasures and finding joy in the mundane. I think this links a lot to what I was talking about around scarcity, in terms of there is a pattern that we can get into where we're constantly seeking, we're constantly striving for the next goal, the next milestone, the next monetary figure, the next number of clients, the next role in the business, whatever it may be. We're constantly seeking. And what tends to happen when we're in that pattern of constantly seeking is we forget to just enjoy where we're at. And it's quite sad in a way, because you look back with hindsight and you're like, I wish I just kind of fucking enjoyed that time. And I've had to remind myself of this recently with all the shifts I've been going through, with the messy middle and the lack of clarity and the not sure where things are headed. It's made me quite miserable at times. Like, I've felt really just like stuck emotionally on this feeling of like, I just fucking wish I knew where I was going. And I kind of zoomed out to my future self, and I look back as my future self and all the things that she has going on in her life, you know, big things to do with this podcast, other opportunities that I'm manifesting coming in, expanded family, things like this. And I just had this really clear vision of her looking back at this time being like, babe, that was a fucking golden era, you know? Enjoy it. Take a fucking holiday. Read a fucking book, you know? Like, just enjoy not knowing. Enjoy being in the messy middle. Enjoy being in the space you're in. And let it be good. And it was such a realization to just drop into that gratitude and that presence for where I am and find the joy in the simplicity right now. Find the joy in the simple pleasures. Find the joy in the mundane, okay? So this is something that I've been really, really leaning into. And what I realized was, in that process, that was some of the most abundant I could feel. When I was looking back and thinking, when did I feel the most abundant? When are the most abundant moments been? Yeah, I'm not going to fucking lie. I felt really abundant when I could walk into Louis Vuitton and be like, I want that, please. Oh, and I'll take that one as well. Okay. Yes, of course, that felt abundant. But some of the much more striking moments were actually the moments I was sat with Jake, having dinner, Leo's in bed, I don't have my phone on me, and we're just talking. We're just having conversation. Some of the most abundant moments were my mornings with Leo, where he's giving me that cuddle first thing in the morning, and I just sit down in the chair and I'm like, you take your time to wake up, babe, you know? Because don't get me wrong, he wakes up awake, but like, you know, there's always that little snuggly moment to begin with. And I'm just taking the time to sit in the chair, or in the evenings when I'm reading him his book to go to bed. I love that time. He's like all snuggled down. We're reading books together. It's heaven. These are such abundant moments. It gets to be both. I don't think we get to make either wrong. Like, if your definition of abundance is Chanel, fucking good on you, girl. Love Chanel. But we also get to appreciate that there is such abundance in the small and simple moments, and that it doesn't always mean more. Abundance can mean appreciating what we have and where we're at. So right now, whatever you're doing, look around you, take in your surroundings. What do you already have that you could appreciate to a greater extent? Maybe it's the clothes you're wearing, maybe the beautiful soft fabric, or it's a top that you love. Maybe it's the car you're driving. Maybe it's the phone that you're listening to this on. Maybe it's your headphones. Like, maybe it's the dog you're walking, or the child that's in the background screaming blue murder, you know? What are the things that already exist around you that you can be grateful for? And starting to recognize that abundance doesn't always mean more. It can mean greater appreciation for what already is, whilst also always being open to receiving more. I do want to talk about that from a business perspective as well, because I think this is something that isn't spoken about in business enough, where we're always taught that growth in business is a positive thing. And I think it is. And I think we always get too open to the mantra of the more I receive, the easier it gets, essentially. Like, I can grow my business to greater levels and it gets to feel easier in that journey, in that process. And I think there's also a reality sometimes where you get to be okay with your business being where it's at. The year I was pregnant went from being a year I was going to double the business again, because that's what we'd done the year previous, to I'm just going to maintain the business I have. The sales that we've made, the clients that we have, I'm just going to give them the best experience they've had, but I'm not going to focus on growing right now. That's okay. Like, let this be a permission slip if you need it. If you love running your business the way that it is, if you love the level of clients that you have, if the level of money is what suits you right now, it's okay not to want to grow right now. And maybe that expansion will come in again and you get to honor that season as well. But I just want to normalize that a little bit. Like, you don't always have to be going for the next goal. And then the last one, I can't remember where exactly I got this from, but I do want to give reference to Sahara Rose, first of all. Sahara's my birthday twin. Fucking love her. And I remember her talking around this, but I also think Catherine Zinkine has spoken about this as well. And it is this idea of the universe being your dom, okay? We love a little bit of dom energy on this podcast. We spoke about it on, oh my God, I've actually just remembered a story. Do I tell this story? I'm going to tell the story. He won't kill me. It's fucking hilarious. So, okay. So, we went on this tantric couples retreat. I speak about it on the wind down. In fact, I will make it this Friday's wind down. So you'll hear it on this week's wind down. It's a really good wind down. It's super sex focused. And I talk about the tantric retreat we went on. But one of the practices was you had to dom and experience doming your partner. Now, this isn't as weird as it sounds. Like, it was very safely done and you're fully dressed. Like, it wasn't weird. Maybe it is. I don't know. Whatever. But basically you had to get your partner from standing into child's pose, and kind of get them into that position. So Jake does it the first time and he gets me down into the child's pose position. And one of the instructions they gave was you can kind of drape yourself over your partner like a weighted blanket. So Jake drapes himself over the back of me like a weighted blanket. And I'm like feeling into this and I'm like, this feels a bit weird. Like, I don't really like this. This doesn't feel like being dommed. This feels like, I don't know. It was weird. I didn't like it. Also, you got to give feedback after the first doming. And I was like, the doming was great, babe. Didn't love the end. Didn't really love the weighted blanket sensation. I think what I would have really liked was just maybe like a firm hand on my lower back and maybe on my shoulders. Like, I think that would have felt much more powerful than this kind of draping motion. So we do this. We do the second doming. Jake gets me down into child's pose. He puts one hand over what, you know how you have hands that lying out on child's pose. He puts one of his hands on top of one of my hands and one of my hands on the other. And then he doesn't know what to do. So he puts one leg over me and the man squats on my back. He's literally squatting on my back with his hands over me. I start laughing like there is no tomorrow. Like, I'm shaking, I'm giggling. Everyone else is taking this practice really seriously. I'm in fucking hysterics. I'm like crying because it literally feels like he's squatting, taking a shit on my back. Honestly, it was awful, but hilarious. Anyway, I'm going to get off that tangent from the terrible dom experience to the universe is my dom. Okay, so what I love about this is I really think it allows us to invite in some feminine energy into the manifestation experience. And please remember, men need the feminine energy in the manifestation experience as well. Like, I think the most powerful manifestations come through balancing the masculine and the feminine energetics of it. So the masculine is the goal orientated, action orientated. This is where we're heading. Here's our 6-point to-do list plan to get there. The feminine energy is the receiving, the openness, the stopping of forcing and just being open and surrendered to receive what the universe has in store for you. And Sarah Jenks, oh my God, I've had so many messages about the Sarah Jenks episode. If you're listening to this and you haven't listened to that episode, please go back and listen. Like, such a powerful episode. But Sarah Jenks spoke about this in the ceremony that we did with her. And she got us to reflect upon in life what some of the most incredible things we have in our life are. And for me, one of the two of the things I said was Jake and Leo. And then she asked her, did you plan for those things? Did you make those things happen? And Leo, as I have mentioned before, was unexpected, but the best surprise ever. Jake, I met on work experience in a fucking accountancy firm. Like, I was not planning on meeting my soulmate in an accountancy firm, I can tell you that. And it was just such a potent and powerful reminder to me and for us that the things that you bring into your life, some of the most magical, incredible experiences, realities, are things that you didn't plan for, things that you didn't force, things that you didn't have a 6-point action plan to achieve, okay? And it's really this energy of being open to the mystery school of life, like seeing what mystery and fun life has for you. And I really like this energy. I think particularly as someone who can feel like there is a lot to do. There's a lot to do running the business. There's a lot to do at home, moving house. There's a lot to do, looking after my son and everything that comes with just being a fucking human being. I really like sometimes the energy of like, I get to have this taken out of my hands a little bit. I just get to know that this is inevitable and I get to hold the vision and I don't have to worry about it. And I think that's the big thing. If you knew whatever you desired was inevitable, how could you release the worry and the fear and the stress and the tension around it? I notice when I'm trying to manifest something and I'm holding too tight on it because I'm like physically tense around it. Okay? How would it feel to just fucking let that shit go and feel fucking good and know it's coming and relax and enjoy the process and trust and know that if it's not that, it's something that's greater for you. Now, look, I am a big believer in taking action. I've said it a million times before. You cannot sit on your meditation cushion, do a visualization, open your eyes, and like Aladdin with the magic genie, your dream reality is in front of you. I do think bringing your manifestations to life takes a certain amount of participation in your life. There is the law of action in terms of the spiritual laws of the universe as well. But I think there's something very different to this forced action, taking action all the time, taking action to the point where you're feeling burnt out and out of love with whatever you're doing, and trusting that it's inevitable, letting go of the worry, letting go of the stress, and then feeling inspiration come in and being like, yeah, I'm going to do that. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Listening to the whispers, listening to the nudges. So here are your 3 upgrades when it comes to manifestation. And like I said, what's so amazing about this episode is you've already done the work, babes. All you had to do was listen to this, take it in. These seeds have been planted. These shifts have been planted. And it's going to radically upgrade your manifestations. So first of all, embracing the cherry on top energy. Secondly, realizing that abundance does not always mean more. And thirdly, letting the universe be your dom for a bit. Like seeing what magical mystery ride it has in store for you. I want to hear how you get on. Let me know how this shifts up your manifestations, how you feel after listening to this. Let me know if any little signs or coincidences pop in. I'm actually gonna I'll do some little updates and stories as well because I love this shit. I live for this shit. If you haven't already, make sure to get your tickets as well. We have some incredible live shows coming up. Got live shows in Manchester, got live shows in London. We are taking the podcast on tour, and those evenings are so fucking fun. We are going to be having the best girly chat. We're going to be answering your questions. I have the most iconic special guests lined up. We're going to have merch, goodie bags, all sorts. It's going to be incredible. So if you haven't already, make sure to grab your ticket. The link is in the show notes. And I'm sending you so much love, so much joy, and so much abundance.